I have lived in the South End for 40 plus years.
I have been in the South End neighborhood for 71 years, with the exception of 10 years living out of state.
I'm a member of the South End Neighborhood Association. I've been a member of living in the South End since 1958. I'm a life member.
I was born there and I grew up there.
I've been in this area now for 50 years. My parents moved over here in 1967.
I've only been in the neighborhood about 10 years.
I have been in the neighborhood 65 years.
I have lived in the South End of Little Rock for 45 years.
My parents built a home there.
I purchased a house and went through a lot of classes in order to understand what it was the city could do for us.
When my mother and father passed, I moved back. I tore down the old house and rebuilt.
I've seen a change over a period of time.
I have seen so many changes since we moved in this area.
We have problems in the South End. We have boarded up houses. We got overgrown weed lots. We have prostitution. We have drug dealings.
I'd have to say that the city, that I'm somewhat disillusioned because nothing has been done.
We are asking for help.
It's not unusual to hear from my neighbors that this is the way that it's always been, that nothing ever changes.
We need help. A South End neighborhood organization have been working together, doing the things that they should do to get support from our city so we could get some of these problems resolved.
We have done a survey within the neighborhood within the last 2 months. There are approximately 228 vacant and abandoned houses in the South End. 228, and I do have those documented.
The baby boomers have gone. The elders are gone. Now the homes that they left behind are vacant and abandoned.
From Roosevelt through 34th, from Arch Street, Spring, and Center. I surveyed. I came up with 49 empty lots, 23 vacant abandoned houses.
We have so many abandoned and vacant houses in this area. Some of these houses are historic.
I live next door to the Daisy Bakes Historical Museum. The city has no idea of the tour buses that comes up and down 28th Street. They don't have a clue. I've seen people from Germany, from the Netherlands, from China, just all over the world, standing in front of the Daisy Bakes house taking pictures. That's tourism for the city of Little Rock.
My mother had a home built on South Battery Street in 1972. And in 1999, the tornado destroyed that home, and I built back a new home there, which should be appraised at much more than what I can get for it.
I have invested in my house at least $70,000 or $80,000.
I paid $210,000 for my house.
But due to the area, the weed lots, the vacant homes, and the trash all along the streets.
And with the rubbish next door and the alleys not cleared, anyone that come back there would not invest in that.
There's no way that I can get a decent appraisal on my property. And I've had it appraised twice, and I was very disappointed with that.
I keep my maintenance on my house. And with that type of investment, I expect return.
Nobody wants to move into the neighborhood.
To have a neighborhood, you kind of need neighbors. And if no one wants to live next to you because of what they see,
I couldn't get anyone to buy my house for that amount now.
I think the city should use our tax dollars to do something about these abandoned houses, you know, to get them torn down or get them rehabbed so that they won't be such an eyesore and a danger.
the sirens that you hear, guess which direction they're headed? They're headed toward 33rd Street. This is not out of the ordinary, unless it's at night. Then even though the calls are made, because my wife has no hesitation about picking up a 911 and saying, hey, I hear gunshots. But how quickly will the patrol cars come by?
I heard the police say that they don't come down here because we don't have enough lighting. I heard another officer said that they don't come down here because we're afraid to come out of our house to support them. We don't want to be identified.
We're in a dangerous situation in the South End. Many of us are senior citizens, and we're afraid to come out of our houses.
When something happened and you have seniors who live alone, they don't want to be identified to people who selling drugs for a fear of them, doing some kind of retaliation to them or to their property.
Gunshots have been placed in some of the senior citizen homes.
We have random shootings over here every day, broad daylight, at night, all the time. Kids are afraid to come outside because of random shootings.
I feel like I'm a prisoner in my own house, and I don't want that. I would like to be able to come outside, sit on the front porch, enjoy planting flowers, and feel safe for my granddaughter who lives with me.
We have asked over the last 30, 40 years for these things to be corrected, yet a deaf ear is turned to us.
I have a roundabout porch. I can't sit on it after dark because of the shootings.
I'm okay because I'm prepared to defend my family, but I shouldn't have to have that on my mind when I'm away from home.
First of all, I would like for the city of Little Rock to enforce the codes that are on the books.
The first thing I'd like for them to do is to enforce the codes that's on the records in terms of housing, weed lots.
The issues of safety are very real when you hear gunshots. There's a weed lot behind our home. The weeds are literally taller than I am. I'm 6'2". I can walk through there and you wouldn't see me.
The city has allowed weed lots to grow up, and they are saying that they can't cut these weed lots because they have grown back to its natural inhabitants. Well, it's unsafe for us.
But we still live here. We're still trying to raise our families here. To be in compliance, we have called 311 and reported areas that needed attention.
We have meetings with the city officials at least once a month. We tell them all these issues, we write them down, we present them to them.
The city is aware of our community. They know the help that we need. And I'm somewhat disillusioned because I don't believe that they draw a salary and don't assist us with the things that we need.
These things are brought to their attention and there's been no action.
Why haven't we gotten the same attention that they have given some of the other areas in Little Rock?
There's a big difference in other areas. They're well kept, they're clean. The street sweepers go to those areas. The city picks up the trash and debris on time, whereas in my area, you don't see a street sweeper until the state fair is in town. And then you have to call to get them to send the street sweeper to clean up the streets after the fair has gone.
So we're asking the chief of police, the mayor of the city of Little Rock, our city manager, everybody that has a part in leading the city of Little Rock to look at our problem because it's bad.
Dumping sites in that neighborhood, illegal cars are parked there in the neighborhood, and it's not a safe area for us to live in anymore. It's disgraceful, and it's very disheartening, and it's embarrassing.
On my street, there are vacant homes, and nothing is being done about those homes. And I would like the city to use some of my tax dollars and others' tax dollars in the area to do what is necessary to bring that up to code.
We need help. I often hear that we are not doing our part. We are doing as much as we can. We always have.
So we're calling today and asking the board to help us solve these problems, and they can be fixed.
My neighborhood with the abandoned houses and the weed lot looks as if nobody cares, and I care. If we just had some help, we're willing to stand on our own and to do what we can.
We're concerned and we're willing to work and we're willing to help. And we're doing everything that we can do to help, solve these problems.
What is the next act we're supposed to do? Where do your part come in?
I'm not saying that you have to make it easy, but I'm just saying that you don't have to make it hard. And by neglecting those of us who are in the area still, it gets hard.